Hey, welcome back to the channel. So I took a little bit of time till I decided to make a second video. So what we missed is we completed a race. So we both were rookies in the race and started in the back of our heats. We ran separate heats. I started 8th and ended up finishing 4th due to 2 cars getting penalized, and then I passed 2 cars. I'm happy with that. I wasn't even really planning on passing anyone, but the opportunity was there and they were semi-easy passes, so I made that happen and lucked out going into the feature. I was supposed to start 14th in the feature, and I decided since it was my first ever race, I would just start in the back, and that was probably a good idea. The car handled awesome in the hot laps and the heat. It was just turning great and had great drive off the corners, and then made a little bit of adjustments for the feature. I've never driven the car on a slicked off track, so I was going into it kind of hoping that the adjustments that I was told to make would help get the car to go. Well, three laps in, the car didn't want to turn. It was pushing like crazy, and I was trying everything in my capabilities to get it around the track. I did all right, started 24th and ended up finishing 20th. I passed one car and the other cars were DNF, so I'm cool with that. I mean, first time ever racing a car on a dirt track, and I made the A main and finished. No damage to the car, so that was cool. Chad, he's in the back, but I think he finished 6th in his heat, and then he ran the B starting 6th, I think, and finished 3rd. So he ended up starting 22nd in the feature in front of me and finished 15th, I'm pretty sure. So he had a little bit better feature than I did, but he's got a lot more wheel time than I do, and I think his car was getting around a little better. So I don't know what I did with the car, if that's going to help. I'm just trying to mimic another setup that I've seen. I had a really stiff left rear shock. I dropped that down, or left rear spring. I dropped that down, I think, probably 15 pounds. So I believe it was a 200, and I put a 185 in it. We'll see what that does. And I also changed a little bit with the brake. I put a bigger brake line on the right front, hoping that would pull a little pressure out and help it dive into the turn with the left front gripping a little bit more. Other than that, not really changing anything. Maybe I'll mess with air pressure at the track. We'll see what happens there. I was doing some little bit of maintenance on the car, and I noticed that this brake line was rubbing on the rear end housing here, so I made a bracket to hold that up off of there. And I also noticed this metal coolant pipe was banging off of this motor mount, so we had a little piece of hose sitting around here. I just sliced that and zip tied it to keep it from banging there. Chad's messing around with his brake pedal assembly a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, but there was a different brake pedal that Go Motorsports offered. He didn't like how his foot was resting on the pedal, so he changed that out. We'll see how he likes that once he gets in the car. He rebuilt his front hubs on both sides, put low drag bearings in, and seals, and put the lighter weight rotors on the front. I think he's been changing brake pads around a little bit. So we were slated to run tomorrow at Lincoln, and there's rain coming into town, so they decided to pull the plug. Not sure when the next race is. There's a race Friday, but we haven't decided if we're going to do that. It's a little bit of a hike up to Clinton County. So we'll decide that through the week and make a game plan. But after the first race, both cars are in one piece, still shiny. And we'll see what happens next time. Thanks for checking it out.